As the US-Canada trade war intensifies, the battle is not limited to tariffs alone. The Trump administration again used social media to boast about his supposed triumph over Canada. This time, though, there was a twist in the tale. Have a look at these visuals. The White House posted a photo of a bald eagle pinning a Canada goose to the ground. This was seen as a bid to project US dominance over Canada, as the bald eagle is strongly associated with the US being its national bird. However, the White House's victory symbol turned into a rather unexpected Canadian comeback story. Build Canada, a Canadian government agency, responded to this with another picture which depicts a very different story. It shows the Canada goose raising its wing in an apparent attack. According to some social media users, both these photos were from a 20-minute face-off between these two birds on frozen Lake Ontario, captured by a photographer over a year ago. So that's the context. Now, while the bald eagle had an upper hand in this fight for a while, the goose fought back, after which the eagle was forced to retreat. And this metaphor of resistance unfolded in reality early this week, remember, when Canada announced retaliatory tariffs on around 700 US goods, ranging between 15 to 50% from September 8 onwards. American steel, aluminium, furniture, clothing, electronics and cheese will now be subjected to tariffs. Canada also announced an aid package of $5.4 billion for workers and firms hit by US tariffs. But how exactly did Trump retaliate is the question. By renaming a lake, he signed an executive order changing the name of Lake Ontario to Lake America. Not just that, he attributed this move to Canada shortchanging America on trade as well as military issues. Earlier, the Ontario Premier had threatened that Canada can cut off electricity and critical mineral supply to the United States if the tensions continue.
As you know, Canada's been ripping us off for a long time on trade, very sadly. Even the military, you know, we defend Canada for nothing. We don't get anything. They don't pay us to defend Canada, but we defend Canada.
Well, let's just break this down further. Lake Ontario is one of the 4 lakes that the US shares with Canada. It borders New York State in America and Ontario province in Canada. According to reports, it has been called Lake Ontario since the 17th century and was named by Canada's indigenous population. As this water body falls under jurisdiction of both countries, Trump cannot compel Canada to adopt the changed name. Let's also tell you how last year the US president stirred a row by renaming the Gulf of Mexico as the Gulf of America. However, Trump suggested that his push to rename water bodies may not be finished. Listen in for yourself to what he said.
As you know, we took something called the Gulf of Mexico. We changed it, and now it's very routinely the Gulf of America. So if you think about it, we have a Gulf and we have a lake. Now all we need is an ocean. So maybe we'll have to change the name of the Atlantic and or the Pacific. Maybe we'll change them both.
The move to rename Lake Ontario immediately triggered a pushback from Canada's leader, who said, and I'm quoting, "The name is more than 400 years old, predating both the Confederation of Canada and the Declaration of Independence of the United States." Snapping Trump further, Carney stressed that Canadians will continue to call it Lake Ontario. Public opinion on the matter was also largely in favor of the Canadian leader's stance.
Most people from Toronto would find the idea of renaming Lake Ontario laughable. I don't think they would stand for it. It's sort of a silly joke. I think most people would not take it seriously.
The row originally started with a breakdown in the trade talks between the two sides, while the Canadian Prime Minister slammed the US for treating his country like a subsidiary and accused it of trying to destroy its key industries. The US accused him of walking away from the deal for political purposes. While Trump initially imposed a 50% tariff on around $20 billion of Canadian goods, he followed it up by enhancing the tariffs on all Canadian cars, trucks, automobile parts and steel to 50%. With Canada's subsequent retaliatory measures, it's amply clear that it will not give in to US pressure anytime soon.
To stay up to speed with the latest news, download the WION app and subscribe to our YouTube channel.